Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back once again. I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is January the 19th, 2022. It is 119. That is a reversed 9/11. You have the Davos conference going on that I keep hearing things come out of. Of course, they are planning your future. This small group of men that don't have any right whatsoever to be able to tell the rest of the world what to do, but of course they're doing it. Um, we had our wonderful little friend, Mrs. Thunberg, good old Greta, apparently got arrested from apparently, from what I heard, it was twice now, from some oil protest or something. Got arrested. Looked fake. That is what it is. Looked fake to me. Plenty of other small little things. A lot of people want to keep talking about all of the no pun intended bullet points of the world. Everybody's still talking about guns being the worst thing in the world. Everybody's talking about climate change being the worst thing in the world. Some people are talking about freedom of speech. And some people are talking about taking away freedom of speech. Of course, the COVIDity is still out there, and more of the pronoun pretenders keep pushing their agenda. So so much going on all at once. And it was interesting. So I call them the normies. The standard Joe YouTubers that used to be either video game commentators or movie commentators, TV show commentators that and they've been in entertainment for a while, and they're still mostly in entertainment. They don't go full on truth, but they've started talking about the possibility that things can be conspiracies. Some of them are actually believing it, and you hear these people talk, and they've been talking more and more about just how bad things are getting, why things are being pushed the way that they are. This agenda to push this satanic wokeism, wokeness, whatever you want to call it, into the mainstream. And right now everybody is divided over television shows, because they're taking all of our old shows that we grew up with, our old video games, old movies, things like that. I mean, we can, Scooby-Doo, Willow, anything Marvel at this point, video games, Last of Us, Lord of the Rings, the whole line. That Hollywood has decided to go back and take all of those old IPs and just piss all over them with the current agenda. And they've got all these kids that were starting to slowly wake up. Some of them are still waking up, but some of them were slowly starting to wake up to the understanding that maybe they're doing this on purpose, but they've all now found a way to guide them back off track by instilling this conspiracy theory that they are making these things bad on purpose so that it will divide them. While I think that's probably true, at the same time, it's kind of sad because all these kids, that's like I said, they were just starting to wake up. All these guys that I've been finding that, amazingly, the YouTube algorithm has been feeding me, time after time after time, and you just listen to them. You just listen to these guys talk, and you start to get that understanding that there is some kind of awakening process happening. It may not be going the right direction, but they're starting to understand it. They're starting to get it. It's starting to click in their heads. And you hear it now, though, that because they're waking up, I absolutely would not, I would not disagree that maybe it is just one big conspiracy that they're trying to manipulate the talking points, not only as a distraction, because you have to remember that everybody's talking about Velma right now while Davos is going on. So there seems to be a connection, but not a connection. And I'm not trying to lead anybody down some ridiculous rabbit hole or anything. I'm just saying that there's so much going on right now that we all have to most definitely keep our eyes open. We most definitely have to pray for discernment. We most definitely have to watch out what's going on. But the fact that this is happening this week, that we have the numerology happening right now, that we have to be careful. Because from this point on, they have 7 years until they hit that 2030 mark. And by 2030, they say, you will own nothing and be happy. They want you all tracked, traced, chipped, and digitally monetized. So you have to be prepared. You have to use discernment. You have to understand where we are right now. That's all I wanted to say about it. I have other things to say too. It's I found a YouTuber. I found a YouTuber yesterday that she had actually started doing video games and started talking about all of these things like 15 years ago. And then it was somewhere along the line within the past 5 years, she just became very, I don't want to say religious, but I was watching, she had made a video about Velma, of course, and it had led me into it because I was trying to hear what people were saying about this. The next video she had was talking about some non-binary preacher in the UK. And I was just listening to it, and she was talking about it, and I was like, why are the normies talking about this kind of stuff? This is like BitChute, level. But anyway, she starts quoting verse and scripture, and I'm like, oh, it blew my mind. I'm like, what is this? And, while she's still got that standard of the world Christian mentality, she's still preaching the word. And I was like, oh, wow. It blew my mind. It really did. And I started going into it more and more. And she started talking about, the woke agenda being satanic. And there was a couple other ones too that I can't really remember right offhand, and I'm just like, there is hope. I'm not going to suggest that anyone goes and follows that. I'm just saying that there are people out there that are waking up to it enough that they have flipped from being of this world into preaching the truth. And it's interesting. It really is interesting. Now, again, I'm not going to if anybody wants to know who it is, I'll tell you who it is, but I'm not going to do it in this video because, again, I don't want people following the wrong things. I don't want to just, I don't want to go out and say, hey, you should go follow such and such, even though I probably have. I'm sure I probably dropped Rob Skeeb's name enough that, probably sure I've dropped a couple other names. But, I mean, they preach enough that I can look in the Bible and I can find it. This girl, again, things she said, I can look in the Bible and I can disprove. So I don't want to send anyone astray. But if you want to know who it was, you just ask. I'll post it in the comments or something. But I found that yesterday, and it kind of blew my mind. And then I started going off, and I was listening to what she was saying, and I was like, there might be some hope. I am still under the impression that we need to use discernment when it comes to those kinds of things. But anyways, now that I've probably put my foot in my mouth again and made myself a hypocrite for saying not to follow somebody, Jeremiah 32 is a 3-pager. Oh boy, it is. This is a monster. I need to start reading this now if I'm going to get through this. I just wanted to say that though, because it was just something that happened yesterday, and I was just like, it blew my mind. It really did. Again, she's still of this world. You can see it. Still does the whole, posting pictures of herself and still follows a lot of the things of this world, but she has enough understanding of the Bible that she has that base that she can work off of. And I thought that was pretty cool. Again, though, it's not the first person I've seen do that either. It's not the first. I've seen others do that as well. It's like I said, the normies are starting to wake up to it. It's like some of these entertainment guys that all they used to do is talk about, like I said, video games. They talk about comic books. They talk about movies. They talk about these things. And, you go back in their timelines and you hear that, that's all they used to talk about. And then suddenly, somewhere along the line, they started saying, why are these things happening? And then the next thing you hear is they say something along the lines of that it is an evil, that it is a wickedness, that it is from demons, that they themselves are Christian in some aspect, and that they are fighting a war against demons. And this is stuff I never heard people say. It's stuff I've never heard people say over the past 5 years. That they're now starting to say it. People are starting to openly say it and admit it. And it's a really interesting thing. I don't. I mean, I. It is possible that, people are waking up. God is calling us all back. We're all going to come to the realization eventually. But while for every, 2 or 3 YouTubers that I'm starting to hear call this stuff out, there's still 5 or 6 pronoun pretenders out there that are, they're pushing it the other way. So we have to stand fast. We have to be strong in the Word, be strong in the Lord, ask for the full armor of God, ask to push back. Anyways, I need to start reading Jeremiah 32 if we're going to get through this, because this is a big one. Man, this is a big one. I was not prepared for how big this was. I was like, should I even try to read this? But if I don't read this, I'm going to have to read it some other day, and some other day I might be up against the wall more. So, let me blow my nose, and then we'll start this. Okay. Alright. I hit the volume on my... There we go. I hit the volume on my thing when I muted it and it messed up. Alright, Jeremiah 32. Can you still hear me? It still says it's on there, but I can't hear myself in the headphones anymore. That sucks. Hello, hello. Great, I can't hear myself in the headphones anymore. And that's probably because I blew my nose and I probably messed up my inner ear. You know how it is. Alright. Jeremiah 32. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord in the 10th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadrezzar. For then the king of Babylon's army besieged Jerusalem, and Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the prison, which was in the king of Judah's house. For Zedekiah king of Judah had shut him up, saying, Wherefore dost thou prophesy, and say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall take it. And Zedekiah king of Judah shall not escape out of the hand of the Chaldeans, but shall surely be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon, and shall speak with him mouth to mouth, and his eyes shall behold his eyes. And he shall lead Zedekiah to Babylon, and there shall he be until I visit him, saith the Lord. Though ye fight with the Chaldeans, ye shall not prosper. Alright. So the pill crow at 6 makes us go back up to the top. So the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord in the 10th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadrezzar. So we're 18 years into captivity. And Zedekiah, who was the son of... God, what's it? Zechariah? No, what was the guy's name? What was the first king's name? I cannot find it right now. What was his name? Wait, let me look it up. What am I doing? What a fool I am. Zedekiah. Last king of Judah. Son of Josiah. Josiah. There we go. I was trying to remember the father's name. Josiah. Which was the 18th year of Nebuchadrezzar. For then the king of Babylon's army besieged Jerusalem, and Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the prison, which was in the king of Judah's house. So this is Jeremiah being in the prison. For Zedekiah, king of Judah, had shut him up, saying, Wherefore dost thou prophesy, and say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall take it. Yet again, this is Jeremiah preaching the word of God, and nobody liked to hear it. You remember, it's the same as the priests that wanted to take Jeremiah, because he kept saying, God is going to come and bring judgment upon you. And they said, well, let's speak a bad word against him. Let's speak bad tongue against him, whatever it was. And so they mocked him. They ridiculed him. They pushed his name into the dirt until he came back and he started preaching the word again. And then they said, let's lock him up. So they took him and they locked him up simply for speaking the word of God to them. Now this is the king himself. This is Zedekiah the king. Didn't like what Jeremiah was saying, so he locked him up. The rulers, the powers of this world, if they don't like what you're saying, they will go out of their way to make sure that you are mocked, ridiculed, put away, demonetized, shadow banned, deplatformed, everything, because they don't want to hear it. It is I can't even call it a modern day book burning, to take you off of all digital platforms. It's the same exact thing as it was back then. If you speak something they don't want to hear, they will condemn you for it. This is what I've said before, is that if you start speaking out the word and speaking the truth, you better be prepared, because the evils of this world will come at you full steam ahead. They don't care. They're only looking to protect themselves. Behold, thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, he shall take it. Verse 4, And Zedekiah, king of Judah, shall not escape out of the hand of the Chaldeans, but shall surely be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon, and shall speak with him mouth to mouth, and his eyes shall behold his eyes. And he shall lead Zedekiah to Babylon, and there shall he be until I visit him, saith the Lord. Though ye fight with the Chaldeans, ye shall not prosper. So once again, it's the same thing. It's Jeremiah went to the people of Jerusalem and said, God is he's bringing the Babylonians down on your heads. If you fight, you will die by the sword. If you fight, you will die by the famine. If you run away, you will die by all these things. If you're taken into captivity like I tell you to, everything's going to be just fine, which is what he said. And then once they went down to captivity, Jeremiah sent a letter to them and said, look, God said you have 70 years. He said you will get through it. You just have to do this. So by the time that 70 years is up, that you and your children and your children's children will want to come back to me. And so, but for now, because you didn't want to listen to me, because you wanted to follow after pagan gods, follow after the pagan rituals, you wanted to mix my laws and my commandments with their heresy, then you're going to be punished for it. And nobody wanted to hear it. Everybody wanted to condemn Jeremiah. This is the king of Babylon, or not king of Babylon, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Judah, saying, no, we don't want this. So they locked him up. Verse 6, And Jeremiah said, The word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Behold, Hanameel, the son of Shalom, thine uncle, shall come unto thee, saying, Buy thee a field that is in Anathoth, for the right of redemption is thine to buy it. So Hanameel, mine uncle's son, came to me in the court of the prison, according to the word of the Lord, and said unto me, Buy my field, I pray thee, that is in Anathoth, which is in the country of Benjamin, for the right of inheritance is thine. and the redemption is thine. Buy it for thyself. Then I knew that this was the word of the Lord, and I bought the field of Hanameel, my uncle's son, that was in Anathoth, and weighed him the money, even 17 shekels of silver. And I subscribed the evidence, and sealed it, and took witnesses, and weighed him the money into balances. So I took the evidence of the purchase, both that which was sealed according to the law and custom, and that which was open. And I gave the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch, the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, in the sight of Hanameel, mine uncle's son, and in the presence of the witnesses that subscribed the book of the purchase, before all the Jews that sat in the court of the prison. That was a lot. That was a lot of repetition, too. So, back to verse 6. And Jeremiah said, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Behold, Hanameel, the son of Shalem, thine uncle, shall come unto thee, saying, Buy thee my field that is in Anathoth, for the right of redemption is thine to buy it. The right of redemption, the right of... Oh, where was it at? Inheritance. I don't know why I got stuck up on that word. I know why I got stuck up on that word. Because I'm having this problem. Because my inheritance of my mother's things, I am going to... We called a lawyer. We called a lawyer yesterday. He is going to call us back on Saturday. He says that we should be able to get everything handled both here and in Florida. So I should be able to sell my mom's stuff, sell my mom's properties, because I don't want her properties. And hopefully I can get something out of it. Like I said, we need money to be able to fix this house. I'm just hoping that we don't think her bills were so bad that they're going to take every penny. I'm just hoping that there's something left so I can get my basement fixed. Speaking of basements, we had like 4 to 5 hours of rain last night. My sump pumps are running. And I'm a bit concerned, but I mean, it is what it is. Because we're getting flooding in the basement, that anytime it rains that hard, I have to worry about the water, where all the water's going. But because those sump pumps haven't run in 6 months, so we've been so dry that I'm hoping the water will go where it needs to go. But I went down there this morning and they are running. There's no water in the basement yet, which, I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if it just didn't. Last year just rained constantly. We had like 3 months where it just seemed like it was nothing but constant rain, and everything just got wet and flooded. We weren't the only house that got flooded. We just live in a bad high water table. It's just all it is. We need to fix the basement. Anyways, enough about that. Verse 8. So Hanameel, mine uncle's son, came to me in the court of the prison according to the word of the Lord, and said unto me, Buy my field, I pray thee, that is in Anathoth, which is in the country of Benjamin, for the right of inheritance is thine, and the redemption is thine. Buy it for thyself. Then I knew that this was the word of the Lord, and I bought the field of Hanameel, my uncle's son, that was in Anathoth, and weighed him the money, even 17 shekels of silver. And I subscribed the evidence, and sealed it, and took witnesses, and weighed him the money in the balances. Okay, we're just going to describe every single thing that we do to make sure, but there's meaning to it. I don't know what it is, but there's meaning to it. Every single word of this book has some kind of meaning to it, some kind of... I don't know what it is here, but he's telling us something. So I took the evidence of the purchase, both that which was sealed according to the law and custom, and that which was open. And I gave the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, in the sight of Hanameel, mine uncle's son, and in the presence of the witnesses that subscribed the book of the purchase, before all the Jews that sat in the courts of the prison. Everybody likes to talk about how many times the word Jews is in the Bible. A descendants of Judah. They call them Jews. A descendant of Judah. I still say Judah was a descendant of Israel. If we're going to call them what we're supposed to call them, they're Israelites. Now, I know the Bible goes out of its way to say that there is a difference between Judah and Israel, and people want to say this is, that's the break between the two, is there's one or the other. I still call them Israelites because they're all the descendants of Jacob. They're all the descendants of Israel. Not only that, but I have said there is a distinction now between those that are Jews and those that are Jewish. Just throwing that out there. I keep waiting to see how many of my videos are going to get pulled, especially that one. I even had people tell me, "Man, you're going to get pulled for this." I know. What do you want? What do you want me to do? You got to call a spade a spade. You got to call evil evil. There are people out there that do not have good intentions, that will call themselves the best people in the world, but they're not. There are people out there that will use their faith. And we've seen this in Christianity too. But then again, it's like I said, if you're using Christianity as a weapon, you're not a Christian. You're of this world. You're some kind of evil. You're some kind of demon that's twisting the words to give you what you want in this world. But there are people out there that are using religion that will take their religion that says that they are allowed to rule over you. They're using that to manipulate people, to lie to people, to take money from people, to destroy people's livelihoods. All for the fact that they have it written in their books that they can do these things. And then they want to claim that they are of God. You're following the wrong God. And when you say, and there's a lot of people that are getting really mad at this, you can't say that it's just one sect of people because there's good people in there that are trying to, okay, I get that. You can't condemn everybody because of some certain group or sect of people. I understand that 100%. I'm not going to condemn everybody. But I'll tell you what, when you hear somebody tell you that 95% of the population of the world are merely cattle to be destroyed, you might need to start listening to what they are saying. There are evil people in this world, and I'm not saying that everybody that belongs to a certain specific group are bad people. There's a lot of people that can be misled and manipulated. I've said it before, is not every person that follows Catholicism is a bad person. They've just been lied to and manipulated enough that they think that it's real. Not everybody in the world that follows, I don't know, Buddhism or Hinduism Yes, I'm pointing those out too. Those are false religions as far as your Bible tells you. Not all of them are bad people either. They've just fallen into the trap. We talked about Native Americans yesterday. Not all the Native Americans are bad people. They just fell into the trap of following false gods, false teachings. They fell into it. They've been lied to, just like everybody else. Now, to them, their belief systems, they will absolutely believe and fight for their beliefs and fight for their, fight for their lies and their rituals and the things of this world, just like Christians will. Christians have fallen to the same thing. Those that believe in God, there are still plenty of people out there that want to claim that they are of the Most High, and they will proclaim something that goes against the book. You have to understand, just because they're part of these sects, and just because I say, just because I say certain things about certain people doesn't mean I'm talking about everybody. That's the biggest problem that people have, is that as soon as you say something wrong about somebody, it's like 20 other people, well, see, you're a bad person because you want to condemn a whole people. I'm not wanting to condemn a whole people. I'm just wanting to condemn those people that want to tell me that I'm not any better than they are, that I'm worthless, that I'm meaningless, that I'm garbage. You need to understand how this works. There's so many people that are so uptight now. Everybody seems to think that their opinions matter more than anybody else's. And that's, that comes from 20, 30 years of everybody being told, oh, you're perfect. You're a special and unique snowflake. That you can do no wrong. Nobody ever told them, no, in the real world, nobody cares. I'm sorry, do you really, truly think that you can take your ass over to some country that doesn't follow the ways of America? You think that they won't laugh at you and mock you and ridicule you because you're so far different than they are? You take your snowflake ass over to some African country where they have rules that say that if you appear out in public with a certain colored hair, or if you're a man wearing a woman's dress, or if you act a certain way, that they are allowed to kill you in the street. You go over there and you tell me if your opinions matter. People are so... I'm not going to get into it. I'm not. I could keep going. I don't know. No, we're not going to do it. I swear I could go on and on about it. I've said enough about it. Let's keep going. Verse 13. And I charged Baruch before them, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, take these evidences, this evidence of the purchase, which is sealed, and this evidence which is open, and put them in an earthen vessel, that they may continue many days. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, houses and fields and vineyards shall be possessed again in this land. All right, back up to 13. And I charged Baruch before them, saying, Thus saith the Lord of God, the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, take these evidences, this evidence of the purchase, both which is sealed, and this evidence which is open, and put them in an earthen vessel, that they may continue many days. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, houses and fields and vineyards shall be possessed again in this land. That's self-explanatory. I don't even know why I read it twice, but I read it twice. Verse 16. Now when I had delivered the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch the son of Neriah, I prayed unto the Lord, saying, Ah, Lord God, behold, thou hast made the heaven and the earth by thy great power and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompensest. Come on now. Recompensest. Recompensest? Why can't we just say recompensated? Because that wasn't invented back in the 1600s, apparently. Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompensest the iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty, the Lord of hosts is his name. Great in counsel and mighty in work. For thine eyes are opened upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give every one according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings, which has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even unto this day, and in Israel, and among other men, and hast made thee a name, as at this day, and hast brought forth thy people Israel out of the land of Egypt with signs and wonders, and with a strong hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with great terror, and hast given them this land, which thou didst swear to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. And they came in and possessed it, but they obeyed not thy voice, neither walked in thy law. They have done nothing of all that thou commandest them to do. Therefore thou hast caused all this evil to come upon them. Behold the mounts, they are come unto the city to take it, and the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans that fight against it, because of the sword, and because of the famine, and of the pestilence. And what thou hast spoken is come to pass, and behold, thou seest it. And thou hast said unto me, O Lord God, buy thee the field for money, and take witnesses, for the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. So there's a lot going on there. Most of it we've already heard before, but we will go through it again. So back up to 16. Now when I had delivered the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch the son of Neriah, I prayed unto the Lord, saying, Ah, Lord God, behold, thou hast made the heaven and the earth by thy great power and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. Amen to that. Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompensest the iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty God, the Lord of hosts is his name. Again, amen. Great in counsel and mighty in work, for thine eyes are upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give every one according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings, which hast set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even unto this day. Even unto this day he has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. Huh. Sorry, I was trying to think of I mean, yeah, okay, there's pyramids, I get it. You know, the last of the great wonders of the world, sure, but this is God setting up signs and wonders in the land of Egypt that have lasted to the days of Jeremiah. Now, are they still there? I don't know. Maybe it's something that we've never seen. Maybe it's something that got torn down. Maybe it's something that got torn down in the 1800s. Maybe it's something that the archaeologists in the late 1800s hid from us. I don't know. But apparently God set signs and wonders that lasted, that were there to last. It got my mind spinning. It got my mind thinking. Even unto this day, and in Israel, and among other men, and hast made thee a name, as at this day. So there are signs in Israel as well. And hast brought forth thy people Israel out of the land of Egypt with signs, and with wonders, and with a strong hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with great terror, and hast given them this land, which thou didst swear to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. Can you imagine that, though? To live in those days and to hear the stories of Israel being pulled out of Egypt, and actually being able to walk down to the place, and for everybody to say, well, see, there it is right there. That's the sign that God sets, and it's still there. Now, I get it. There's places that people point out to. There's a rock that's split out in the wilderness that, people say, well, this is where Moses got the water from whenever he split the rock. And, there's other places where they say, see, you can cross through here and all this stuff. And that's one thing, sure. But to be able to point out, to have people to know that everybody just kind of knows, hey, see that place over there? That's where God brought his finger down onto the Egyptians. That, I don't know, for whatever reason right now, that just seems amazing to me. I just want to get that out there. 23, and they came in and possessed it, but they obeyed not thy voice, neither walked in thy law. They have done nothing of all that thou commandest them to do. Therefore thou hast caused all this evil to come upon them. That is like, those two verses are like America. Everybody wants to say that this was a country that was founded with godly principles. There's a lot of people out there that want to say, no, the men that founded this country were not of godly principles, and I don't know who to follow. I know they were theists, supposedly. I don't know, that could be manipulated too. George Washington may not even be a real person. When somebody tells me this kind of stuff, that, oh, George Washington was a Freemason, George Washington was this, George Washington was that Benjamin Franklin had however many bodies hidden underneath his kitchen floor. You know what I say to that? George Washington and Benjamin Franklin may not even be real people. You got people that'll tell me, oh, all you have to do is just go back in the history books and read the letters for yourself, read all these things for yourself. They have pictures that they painted of these people. So what? So what? I have a picture of I have a picture of Mickey Mouse. That doesn't mean Mickey Mouse is real. It means that somebody drew him. So what? I have well, I don't know if we have it anymore. I used to have it. I think we still do have it. I have a copy of, I think Mom has it. I think Mom has a copy of the Diary of Anne Frank. It doesn't mean it's real, because it's not. Oh, you can't say that. That's real. That really happened. No, the original copy they found out was written with a ballpoint pen. Ballpoint pens weren't even invented until the 1950s. So, I don't want to hear it. When the uncle? The uncle or the son of the uncle, whoever it was, when they have to file a copyright on it, he had to go out of his way to file a copyright on the book to keep the copyrights. It's what you do whenever you're filing a book for fiction. Nah, it wasn't real. They tell you it's real, but it's not real. It's just like everything you know about America. You don't know. I don't know if George Washington was a real person. What am I supposed to do? Go back and look at the letters? So what? Those could have easily been written by somebody as well. There's no proof. You remember what I said? It was either yesterday or the day before yesterday that There is nothing you can know as truth until you search it out for yourself. You can read everything you ever want, and all it is a belief. It's not the truth. You can read in a book that 1 + 1 is 2, but you can't know it's true until you take one of something and another thing and put it together and make 2. You can't know that until you do it for yourself, until you see it happen for yourself. It is simply a belief. What was the line that I always hold on to? The one that really made me think as a teenager is, the only reason that you know who your daddy is because your mama told you. Think about that. Think about that. Think about all those stories you ever heard of adopted kids that didn't find out they were adopted until they were 30 years old. Shit, you don't even have to go that far. You don't have to go that far. Think about the myth of Santa Claus. Think about how much parents lie to their children. And you grow up for 5, 6, 7 years, however long it takes until that dream is shattered. Think about that. Your belief was that there was a jolly old fat man that lived in one of the coldest places in the world that had little tiny people that would help him make toys for you so that he could come deliver them on one day of the year. That wasn't real. You believed it was real, just like the Tooth Fairy. You believed it was real because somebody told you. You don't know anything. Nobody knows anything unless you see it for yourself. That's part of the problem of this world, is that people will believe now more than they will want to prove it, because that's indoctrination, because that's what the schooling system has done. It has created a way to tell you there are people out there that know more than you do, and that they've already found this out for themselves, so you just have to trust them. Trust. So I don't trust anyone anymore. I can't trust anyone anymore. So we quit lying to each other. Just quit lying to each other, you know? Just start there. Just stop lying. Anyways, this sounds like America. And hast given them this land, which thou didst swear to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. And they came in and possessed it, but they obeyed not thy voice, neither walked in thy law. They have done nothing of all that thou commandest them to do. Therefore thou hast caused all this evil to come upon them. If this was a godly land, created by men who were following the will of God, that describes America perfectly. You didn't do a damn thing he wanted you to do, and now you're falling for it. But I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. It's just the description. It's a description of something in the Bible that sounds exactly like the description of something that I was told. Something I may or may not believe. So there you go. How's that for you? 24, behold the mounts. They are come unto the city to take it, and the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans that fight against it, because of the sword, and of the famine, and of the pestilence. And what thou hast spoken is come to pass, and behold, thou seest it. And thou hast said unto me, O Lord God, buy thee the field for money, and take witnesses, for the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. So basically this whole thing is saying, God, you are so amazing. You've done all these things to take Israel out of Egypt, to bring them into this place, to, give them these things, and they didn't do it. And Now, since you have told them that it was going to happen, the Chaldeans have come in and they've taken over the land and all this stuff, and I'm locked up in prison, and now you're telling me that I need to buy a field. Okay. There's the lesson there is, even whenever things are completely and totally falling apart and you really have nothing left, when God tells you to do something, just do it. There's a reason for everything. Verse 26, Then came the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah, saying, Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans, and into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall take it. And the Chaldeans that fight against this city shall come and set fire on this city, and burn it with the houses, upon whose roofs they have offered incense unto Baal, and poured out drink offerings unto other gods, to provoke me to anger. For the children of Israel and the children of Judah have only done evil before me from their youth. For the children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith the Lord. For this city hath been to me as a provocation of mine anger, and of my fury from the day that they built it, even unto this day, that I should remove it from before my face. Because of all the evil of the children of Israel and of the children of Judah, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, and the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and they have turned unto me the back, and not the face, though I taught them, rising up early and teaching them, yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction. But they set their abominations in the house, which is called by my name, to defile it. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not. Neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination, to cause Judah to sin. Back to 26. I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to take a drink before my throat gets any crazier. We had some... I had some Nathan's beef pigs in a blanket, little, wiener beef pigs in a blanket, and you can't really call them pigs in a blanket, it's beef wieners in a blanket, whatever you call them. And man, the aftertaste on those is still with me. I'll tell you what. It's been like this all morning. It's kind of like I get a little, just get that taste come up in your mouth. You're just like, ugh. They were good, I'm not gonna lie, but man, they leave a taste. It's like all every now and then we'll do like a hot dog night, like some beef wieners and something else, or maybe like beef corn dogs, and they just leave it taste in your mouth. I don't know what it is. At least it's not pork. I'll tell you what, man, when I used to eat hot dogs, I used to feel like crap the next day. Or whenever we used to eat when it used to get like corn dogs from the fair or something, I used to feel like crap. I don't feel so bad anymore, but that's they put some kind of additive, some kind of something for the flavor of those that I don't know what it is. Anyways, now that I've described my food that I had last night, verse 26, Then came the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah, saying, Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Well, no, because you created everything. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans, and into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar king of Babylon, and he shall take it. Now, again, concerning Jeremiah, some of it was happening because Jeremiah wrote it down. Some of it was letters that he had written, and other parts of it were somebody may have written down what Jeremiah was doing at the time. So there is no set timeline. This is, I may have been wrong. This may not have been before Nebuchadnezzar took over the city. This may have just been in the 18th year that Nebuchadnezzar was a thing. And, this may have been before he actually took over the city. So I could have been wrong. Hey, man, I admit when I'm wrong. Most times. Most other times I don't even know I'm wrong. But this could have been before, whenever Nebuchadnezzar actually took over the city. But anyways, behold, I will give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans, and into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall take it. And the Chaldeans that fight against this city shall come and set fire on this city, and burn it with the houses, upon whose roofs they have offered incense unto Baal, and poured out drink offerings unto other gods, to provoke me to anger. Because they didn't worship me, they worshipped other gods, whose roofs they offered incense unto Baal. It's interesting that you can always tell when there's a story coming, because I always say, it's interesting. I never knew that people would burn incense outside to cleanse their houses. I didn't even know that was a thing until there's a couple different places that we lived. There was a duplex that we lived when we lived inside of the Loop of Indianapolis, that every time you walk outside, there was incense burning. Now, I was like, what the hell is this? Because I can't stand incense. Some of it's too pungent, and I have an allergy to odors, if you can believe that, or allergy to chemicals, whatever it is. I can't handle candles. I can't, none of it. Sprays, anything, even cleaning products. But I didn't know that people would burn incense to cleanse the outside of the houses. It's just another one of those, pagan things that's not of God. But every time I hear something like that they burn incense on the roofs, I'm like, that's part of it, But there was another place too that was the same thing. You could go outside, and 2 houses down, you could smell somebody burning incense outside. And I'm like, why are they burning them outside? It wasn't until, again, I read the Bible that I started getting the concept that that's what people do. But he will burn the places down where they do those things, and poured out drink offerings to other gods. Poured out drink offerings to other gods. Not only that, but just the simple fact of pouring a drink offering down onto the ground for a fallen friend could be considered worshiping the dead. It's the little things that get you. That's actually witchcraft too, if you knew that. Even the process of putting candles in a birthday cake, it's witchcraft. Because you're putting your wishes and your dreams inside of a candle. You're lighting the candle. You're putting your wishes and your dreams for the future into the candle. And when you blow it out and the smoke goes up, that is a low-level spell. Everything you know in this world is pagan. I've said this before. There's nothing you know in this world that is created for good. They've manipulated us. Some people say that there's still going to be a great falling away. No, man, you fell away. You have to come back, because you don't even know where you are at this point. Verse 30, for the children of Israel and the children of Judah have only done evil before me from their youth, because they didn't know any better, because they were lied to. They have only done evil before me from their youth, for the children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith the Lord. Because you're lied to from the day you're born until the day you die. You are lied to about everything. For this city hath been to me as a provocation of mine anger, and of my fury from the day that they built it, even unto this day, that I should remove it from before my face. Because of all the evil of the children of Israel and of the children of Judah, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, and the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, every single one of them have done evil. And they have turned unto me the back, and not the face. Though I taught them, rising up early, and teaching them, yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction. But they set their abominations in the house, which is called by my name, to defile it. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley in the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech. Molech, Baal, Beelzebub. This is the god that they used to take in the winter. They used to stoke the fires inside of this. There's two ways of saying it. Either they used to open up the chest of this statue, and inside of the statue there was a furnace, and they used to set the children inside of it and close it, or they used to set the children on the lap, and there was a fire that burned out of the lap. It was a great bull god, Molech, the bull. They used to do this in the winter. They did this 4 times a year, though, because they did this on the solstices and on the equinoxes. But they did this in the winter solstice, because they wanted their sun to come back, because they were afraid that their sun was going to go away, and their sun was never going to come back because it was getting darker and getting colder. So they would make sacrifices to Molech. They used to set the kids on his lap, just like you do with Santa Claus. Which I commanded them not, neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination to cause Judah to sin. Verse 36. Let's do this. Let's get this over with. And now therefore thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, concerning this city, whereof ye say, it shall be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. Behold, I will gather them out of all countries, whither I have driven them in mine anger, and in mine fury, and in great wrath. And I will bring them again unto this place, and I will cause them to dwell safely. And they shall be my people, and I will be their God. And I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me. Yea, I will rejoice over them to do them good. And I will plant them in this place assuredly with my whole heart and with my whole soul. For thus saith the Lord, like as I have brought all this evil upon this people, so will I bring upon them all the good that I have promised them. And fields shall be bought in this land, whereof ye say, it is desolate without man or beast. It is given into the hands of the Chaldeans. Men shall buy fields for money, and subscribe evidences, and seal them, and take witnesses in the land of Benjamin, and in the places about Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, and in the cities of the mountains, and in the cities of the valley, and in the cities of the south, for I will cause their captivity to return, saith the Lord. So, why did God tell Jeremiah to buy the land? Because he said, even though I'm going to bring all these things down upon the heads of all these people, I will cause them all to come back, and they will buy the lands, and they will make fields, and they will bring cattle into them, and these fields shall prosper again. Everything God has done to Jeremiah was to show him how these things worked. Because he pulled Jeremiah as a kid. He pulled Jeremiah as a kid who didn't know any better. There's nothing inside of this book that says that Jeremiah was a learned priest. He was just a kid that one day God said, hey, go start telling the people these things. I'm going to show you. Take a loincloth, wear the loincloth, and then go bury it by a river. And then it got all ratted and nasty, and he said, this is what the soul of the people is. They're falling apart. Then he said, take this pot, take the elders and break it in front of them, and then you tell them, this is what I'm going to do to your city. Then go out there and start telling them the truth. Go start telling them that I'm going to bring Nebuchadnezzar and his armies, everybody down on top of their heads. And while you were being locked up for speaking my word, I'm going to have you buy some land. Jeremiah didn't even understand why. It's like, what? Yeah, you've done all these things. You're able to take the people out of the land. You're able to give them these places to do all these things, and yet you've got me in prison buying a field for my uncle's son. Why? God said, because after I'm done with all these places, after I'm done with these people, I will bring them back, and they will buy the fields back. They will buy all these fields back, and they will live in peace and harmony, and they will have these places again. Because I have spoken it. Because this is what's going to happen. It is the only way that he could get through to Jeremiah was to show him. He had to be shown. Why? I don't know why. He just had to be shown. So constantly, over and over again, it's go do this, go do this, go do that. And then tell the people why you did this. Tell the people why you did that. Back to 36. And now therefore thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, concerning this city whereof ye say, it shall be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. Now, this is the city of Judah. This was not Jerusalem, this was Judah. Behold, because you remember, it's the king of Judah that, these are the ones that were fighting back. Yeah, remember there was a lot of the people of Jerusalem were taken. The people of Judah, a lot of them were fighting back against it, and that was whenever God was saying, don't fight back against it because you're going to die by the sword. And they all spread out, and they sent people down to Egypt to ask them to help, and the whole deal. And behold, I will gather them out of all countries, whither I have driven them in mine anger, and in my fury, and in great wrath. And I will bring them again unto this place, and I will cause them to dwell safely. After it's all done, I will bring them back. I said I was going to give them 70 years, and I'm going to bring them all back, and they're going to get, they're going to have everything back the way it was. And they shall be my people, and I will be their God, and I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me. Now this is Judah. This is not Jerusalem. Remember Jerusalem, he said. But this is after the fact, because he's saying that I will make a new covenant with them. that I will give them the one heart and the one way, and that they will last forever. That is not Jerusalem. This is the people of Judah. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I will rejoice over them to do them good, and I will plant them in this land assuredly with my whole heart and with my whole soul. For thus saith the Lord, like as I have brought all this evil upon this, I have brought all this great evil upon this people, so I will bring upon them all the good that I have promised them. And fields shall be bought in this land, whereof ye say, it is desolate without man or beast, and it is given into the hands of the Chaldeans. Yet again, he had to show Jeremiah in some way, shape, or form, this is how I'm going to do it. You're going to break the pot in front of them, and you're going to say, this is what God's going to do to you. You're going to take that raggedy-ass loincloth, and you're going to show them, this is what's going to happen to you. This is what you're doing to yourselves. You have to go tell them. You should not go do these things. Remember, the first 10 books of Jeremiah, it constantly talked about, don't do this, don't do that. They didn't listen. So then Jeremiah had to spend the rest of his damn life telling them, hey, you're going to suffer because you're not listening. You're simply not doing these things. Again, what were the things that he told them about? Well, they kind of line up with Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. I've gone through that again. You can do whatever the hell you want to do with your life. God doesn't want you to do whatever the hell whatever the hell you want to do with your life. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you what the Bible says. And the Bible seems to say that, boy, howdy, that stuff you're doing right now, that's not good. Man. A lot of people fight back against that. I've said that before. People will fight back hard against that. How many arguments did I get into this year or last year because of Christmas? Was it 4 or 5? I don't even know. I've been so shadow banned. Before that, it was more because I actually had more of an audience. I don't know. They go out of their way to say the same old stuff. To say the standard, well, it's okay because everything is good now. Everything is not good now. Who said that? When did God say that it's okay for you to do pagan rituals? When exactly does it say that? I am just curious. Because I'll tell you what, if you can tell me the place, if you can show me the exact place in the Bible where God or Christ said, hey, you know what? You go ahead and you go follow them pagan rituals. You tell them now. I'll tell you what, you can find that in the Bible for me. I will be more than happy to celebrate Christmas 365 days a year. Show me where it is. There's no place in the Bible where it says all pagan rites or all pagan rituals, all pagan customs are now good for the people of God to follow. It's not in here. There's nothing in here about that. This book goes out of its way to tell you stuff that you didn't know. I mean, we're talking about like drink offerings being poured out, incense being burned. Oh, but that's something else entirely. You talk about birthdays. It doesn't say a damn thing about birthdays in the Bible. It says to count the years, but it says nothing about birthdays. There are only 2 birthdays in the Bible, and they're both for bad people. One of them, the birthday they killed John the Baptist. Think about that for a second. And I've said before, if you refuse to read the books of the enemy, then you refuse to learn that the enemy says that you celebrating your birthday is the best thing that you could do. Satanist. say that the number one holiday you should celebrate is your own birthday. If you refuse to listen to any other book besides the Bible, you will miss the fact that you are doing pagan rituals and you don't even know it. Oh, where was it at? Where was it at? For the children of Israel and the children of Judah have only done evil before me from their youth. From their youth. Because they didn't know any better. Because they were born into a world of evil. So they did evil. And I do get passionate about these things because I'm tired of being lied to. These things I get passionate about. Christmas, Easter, birthdays. Birthdays. What the... Because I was just like everybody else. I didn't think there was a problem. There's no problem with this stuff. You know, you do this stuff since the day you're born. You're taught to blow out the candles when you're 3 or 4. You know, you're taught to make a wish. You're taught that every year some jolly fat man who happens to share the same name as Satan brings you presents. Every year that you're when your teeth fall out, you leave them underneath your pillow. Somebody will give you some money for them. I did that. I did all of that. I did all of that for 40 years. 40 years of my life, I did all of that. I taught that to children. I taught that to children. That is something I am going to have to pay my penance for eventually. But I taught that to children. I taught that to other people. I talked about being a mall Santa at one point in time. Because I was one of those guys. I got jealous of the guys that would have the big, huge Christmas decorations. All I ever wanted was a bigger tree. More decorations. More presents. I was the one that went out, put a mask on, chased kids around for Halloween. Chased kids around for all fucking hell. But it was all a lie. Every single bit of it was a lie meant to corrupt you, meant to harm you, meant to destroy you. Every single bit of it is to take you away from the truth. And the truth is that this world is fallen and evil, and that God does not want us to do these things. He wants something better for us. And I try not to be. I try not to be too judgmental. And I try not to be too forceful. But there are some times, man, there are some times that let's go back to 43. And fields will be bought in this land whereof ye say, it is desolate without man or beast. It is given into the hands of the Chaldeans. Which, like I said, God told Jeremiah to buy the field just as another example of what's going to happen. Even though everything's going to be destroyed, you're going to come back and you're going to buy the fields and you're going to rejoice. Men shall buy fields for money and subscribe evidences and seal them and take witnesses in the land of Benjamin and in the places about Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, and in the cities of the mountains, and in the cities of the valley, and in the cities of the south. For I will cause their captivity to return, saith the Lord. Um, I could be wrong. I've admitted that. I could very easily be wrong. All of this could just be just some elaborate mixed up lie inside of my head. Every single bit of it could be just me pronouncing my own beliefs out into the world, and that the Bible is just one big confirmation bias for me. I don't know why. I don't know why that suddenly almost 6 years now, 6 years ago, after I started understanding the world, that things don't look right, that I fell on my knees and prayed to God that He save me, that I asked Christ to come into my heart and to save me. I don't know why that after 40 years of following the things of this world, I would be pulled into that bias of my own beliefs. But maybe I am. Who knows? The more I read this, though, the more that I am proven that I am right. You cannot shake that from me anymore. The more we learn about this world, it's the crazier things get. I'm here to speak the truth. I'm going to take one of these verses right here, verse 30. And I'm going to change it. I'm not going to change it and say that it's scripture, and I'm going to change it and I'm not going to say that it's of God. This is of me. This is me changing it to make it fit into something that sounds like something that people need to hear. Okay, you ready for it? Verse 30, for the children of man have only done evil before me from their youth. For the children of men have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith the Lord. That is where you are right now. That's all I got. That's all I got. I love all of you. Take care of yourselves. God bless every one of you. I will see you tomorrow. Be wary. Use discernment. Just watch out. If something happens today, something happens today. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just know that there are evil men in this world that are going out of their way to hurt you and kill you and destroy you. And they are meeting right now. They are officially meeting right now to decide how bad they're going to hurt and kill and destroy you. Just keep that in mind. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves.